I'd like to recount a story that I've heard in various forms from many of you. Your local community's hosting an event. It's a festival, it's a carnival, and you're the local service provider, you're sponsoring it. And your subscribers and their guests show up, and they can barely get a cell signal. And they can't get any Wi-Fi connection. And you're the sponsor. It might as well be the 1980s. There's no selfies, there's no posting, there's not even TikTok videos, right? That's the reality that many of us have faced today. But with SmartTown, you can actually transform that experience and change your communities. But what's really important is with all of these solutions, as you grow your business, you can invest, you can grow, and you can transform your communities in fundamental ways, helping them grow, helping them thrive, helping them evolve. And many of you are doing that today. So I'm excited to invite to the stage Bob Hance from MEC and his community partner in crime, Emilie Lagrow, to talk to you about how they're doing that in Cassopolis, Michigan. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. We are thrilled to be here today to talk to you a little bit about the village of Cassopolis. So we're a small, rural, low-mod, or poor, if you will, community located in southwest Michigan. And like many small communities, we were really struggling. And frankly, we were dying, if you will. And we knew that in order to thrive again, we really needed a sweeping community transformation. And we also firmly believed that just because we were small, rural, and poor, our residents still deserved access to first-class resources. That doesn't come without risk, though, and that's where our partnership with Bob and Midwest Energy really came into play. And together, we've really been able to make some sweeping transformations of our community.
Absolutely, Emily. Without strong partnerships and the relationship that we have, we can't keep innovating and providing more and better services for our member customers as well. We've been in Cassopolis since about 1938, 1939 as a rural electric cooperative. Over time, we have innovated and diversified. We are in the propane business now as well. On top of that, more recently, we've made the big leap into providing true broadband services to our membership and the outlying areas. And because of those things, we have enhanced, I think, our partnership in the community. We have a mission statement that goes back to those early days as an electric provider that very suggestively says that we'll provide services in areas where others won't. And I think that's exactly the spirit of that mission today in what we're doing in the community. So I don't know what else to say about the fact that, you know, the beauty of our community relationship has helped both of us in ways that we would never be able to do alone. And we want to keep enhancing that.
So it wasn't too long into this relationship that Bob and his team decided to build a brand new headquarters.
It's true. Because of our growth and our diversification, we have had to add a lot of employees and outgrew our old facility, which was in the village of Cassopolis. So we had to make a decision as a company to find a piece of property that was suitable for us to build a new headquarter campus. As it turns out, we did find 500 acres, but it actually was outside the village.
Yeah, don't let him sugarcoat it. We broke up. He took his money and left my little community. It wasn't pretty.
But with every relationship, there's ups and downs, Emily.
There are. And you know what? Like every great love story, we're back together.
So our headquarters facility, which you can see on the screen back there, is a start of something very magical for the community.
That's right. So I mentioned we're small, rural, and poor. So I want to just give you a little glimpse into what that means. By small, I mean we have 1,684 residents. By rural, our #1 industry is agriculture. And by poor, I mean that, or disadvantaged, right, depending on who you ask, the median household income is less than $32,000 a year. So when we say we needed to transform and we needed to rely on partnerships, we're here to tell you today that this partnership has generated $200 million of investment over the last 18 months into that community. And that by 2023, our village is set to triple our general fund budget. So the ability to move forward and make sweeping transformations in our community is really the result of this strong partnership. What you see here is a mural that says, "Welcome to the village of Cassopolis." So this building once held a mural that was about 60 years old, was an advertisement for a company that's no longer even in existence. It was where we were, but it didn't talk about the possibility of where we could be. And that's really what we wanted to focus on. So as we looked at this sweeping transformation, I had this bright idea to bring in these phenomenal new streetlights and digital banners, right? They're great. They have color-changing post-op modules. They emit Wi-Fi for our whole downtown. They play music. They have these sweet digital banners, and we would be the first community in all of Michigan to have this connected system. So we order those up, and we get them going, and I was never so happy that Bob and I got back together as when the contractor said, "Hey, what are we hooking this up to?" I don't really know what you mean, because I don't really understand what's happening here at this conference. I just had a really great idea. So I called my friend Bob and said, "Hey, Bob, look at these awesome things we're gonna do." And he's like, "Yeah, Emily, that's really great." So I'm gonna need your help. And oh, by the way, we have this really tight timeline. And oh, by the way, I don't really have a budget for that whole connection piece, so can you help me out?
And fortunately, I have a very talented team that came together and got it done.
That's right. That is the power of connections inside of your community. It really does help you get anything done.
Yes. And one of the things that I have kind of instilled in our organization is the point of relevance. You get to a point in a position and a career and a business that gets kind of stale, right, over time, and you think, what am I doing that's so much different than anybody else that might be able to provide electricity? So you have to take those next steps and say, how do you become more relevant? How do you become something that people want to be involved with? So that's kind of the path that we've been on, and since we have started down that path, in that 500 acres, obviously we didn't need 500 acres for our corporate campus, so we have now got our first tenant and a new smart park in the village of Cassopolis.
That's right, and what a great opportunity it was for us to showcase some of the amazing partnerships and transformations we made when the 13th most powerful woman in the world showed up at our groundbreaking. And not only did she show up.
You're 14, right?
Yeah, that's right, you got it. Right behind her. But the Norwegian ambassador to the US showed up as well. So, we are extremely proud of the ability to transform our community and make it vibrant, sustainable, and relevant.
And I discovered we can learn Norwegian, right?
Right after Bob.
Hydro is, not hydro, it's aluminium.
Aluminium, that's right.
Well, thank you, Bob and Emily. That's great. I just wanted to ask you, though. So I had a chance to come out and visit with you and your team and see the village earlier this year, and it really moved me to see what was happening. I mean, seeing it in person, great pictures, but it was unbelievable. You also recounted to me a little story about how some of your peers reacted when you told them that you were going to go into broadband. Want to share that story?
Well, again, it gets back to my philosophy and our company's mission to provide services where others won't provide service. Mm-hmm. So we're driven, just like Calix is driven, to provide member value or customer value. Mm-hmm. And when our members really pushed us to get into this space and become a communications provider, we weren't necessarily met with open arms by some of the competitors in the area. As a matter of fact, we got a lot of pushback, and that's not your space, you ought not to be doing it. I offered we would stand down if only they would provide the service.
Did
And
they?
Did not.
No, surprise.
And
So
we're over 20,000 subscribers strong.
fantastic growth. And so, Emily, when you look at your plans for the future, what does it mean to you to have a partner like Bob and MEC?
So Matt, I thought a lot about this question since we've talked about it, right?
Besides the obvious.
Besides the obvious, right? Listen, this partnership is going to allow us to continue to have a vibrant, sustainable, connected, thriving community for generations to come. And if we can do that, being small, rural, and poor, right, we can be the model for anyone to do that. And what I learned here today, as I watched you earlier, was that together we can be the giants.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Bob. Thank you, Emily.